Hi, this is Paul. I'm coming back with TTM episode number 39. I have 11 returns. Let's get started. First one's a 3-3 in 16 days from Pat Leahy. This is the 78 tops. Then, sorry, I dropped it. We have the 80 tops and the 81 tops. Next one is a 3-3 in 10 days from John Matlack on the 75 tops. The 78 tops. And the 80 tops. The Pat Leahy and John Matlack was TTM fuel that I got from Math Bowler in that Dave Parker 5x7 trade. So thanks, Math Bowler. Next one is a 4 in 13 days from former NFL player Pat Toomey. He signed the Buffalo Bills logo photo. Dallas Cowboys logo photo. He was a member of the Super Bowl VI champion Dallas Cowboys that beat the Miami Dolphins. Then this is the Oakland Raiders logo photo, 1977 AFL wild card. The Raiders, in 77, the Raiders won the wild card. Denver won the division. And the Raiders played the Baltimore Colts on New Year's Eve in 1977 at Old Memorial Stadium. And that game was referred to as the Ghost to the Post because Dave Casper, Casper the Friendly Ghost, Dave Casper had caught the winning touchdown from the Ken Stabler. And then the Raiders ended up losing to Denver in the championship game, the AFC championship game, and then Denver lost to Dallas in Super Bowl 12. But what was interesting with the Raiders is that that was the time where, they were always in the playoffs. And, John Facenda, the voice of NFL Films, did NFL Films used to have all this great music. You ever watch NFL Network and watch all the old footage? And they had the great music, NFL Films. They're hardly using it anymore. And there was one song dedicated to the Raiders, and I'm not going to hum it. It's called The Autumn Wind, and there was a poem that went along with it. And I believe John Facenda, who was a Philadelphia legend, he was the first voice of NFL Films, and then another Philly legend, shout out to Mike at the Hot Corner, Harry Callis, succeeded him. And there was this poem called The Autumn Wind, and it was dedicated to the Raiders. So you can Google it. But what else was interesting about Pat Toomey is that he was he was with the Buffalo Bills. The Bucks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, took him in the expansion draft, so he was the original Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I will show the logo photo that he was, signed and inscribed, original Buck. And of course, the Bucks lost their first 26 games. They went 0-14 in 76, and then they lost their first 12 in 77. They beat New Orleans in week 13 in the Superdome, and then, which ultimately cost Hank Stram his job. And then in the final game of the season, 77, at the Sombrero, they beat the then St. Louis Cardinals. But what was interesting in Pat Toomey, he was supposed to be a Buck in 77, and he used to drive cross country. He lived out west, the postcard came back in New Mexico, so he lived in New Mexico, somewhere out west. But he drove cross country to Tampa or wherever he played, and there was no cell phones back in 1977. So I guess on the way he stopped and called his wife, and she informed him that he was traded to the Raiders. So not only was he ecstatic, he had to turn around and go back west, because he was going to play for the Raiders. And of course, I mentioned about the Ghost to the Post game. So enough about that. So the next one is a 3-3 in 13 days from Bobby Hunt. He signed the Cincinnati Bengals logo photo, and then the Kansas City Chiefs logo photo. One, and then a second one, he signed that one toward the bottom, and he signed this one on top. Then the next one is a 13 days from Jim Mora. He signed the Saints logo photo and inscribed the Saints Hall of Fame. And then he signed the Philadelphia Stars logo photo, and they won he was the head coach in the NFL. They won the 1984 USFL championships. And then after that season, they moved down I-95 to Baltimore to become the Baltimore Stars, and they won the championship again. And then that was it. There was no championship after that because they, in 1986, instead of playing in the spring, because they played in the spring, they wanted to go head-to-head in the NFL and play in the fall, but that never happened. And then, of course, that opened up the floodgates because you had all these USFL players like Steve Young and Reggie White and Jim Kelly, and a whole bunch of them, ended up going into the NFL. So, because NFL teams did own their rights because they were drafted by NFL teams, so they had to go to the team that held their rights unless they were able to get traded or whatever. So, next one is a 3-3 in 13 days from Johnny Evans. He signed the Cleveland Browns logo photo. And then he signed the Montreal Concords logo photo. That's what they would call before the Alouettes. And then he signed the Edmonton logo photo, CFL team. And then the next one is a 2-2 in 16 days from John Bunting. He signed the Philadelphia Eagles logo photo and the Philadelphia Stars logo photo. And then the next one is a 2-2 in 17 days from Dan Fike. He signed the Cleveland Browns logo photo and then the Tampa Bay Bandits logo photo, USFL team. They played in the sombrero. They were quarterbacked by John Reeves, Florida Gator legend quarterback, who he was like a backup in Cincinnati to Ken Anderson. And the head coach of the Tampa Bay Bandits was Steve Spurrier. And then, of course, Steve Spurrier, went to I think he went to Duke, become the head coach, and then ultimately the Gators, where he kind of made his mark. And of course, Steve Spurrier tried coaching the NFL with the Washington football team, and that didn't work out. So, but Steve Spurrier is still a legend. And then the next one is a 2-2 in 19 days from Hank Bauer, former San Diego Charger. Shout out to Brandon Stebbins again. He was on the 40th and 50th anniversary team. He kind of put it in the envelope before dried. And then 3-time AFC West champs. Then the next one is a 2-2 in 10 days from Gordon King. He signed the New York Giants logo photo. And he signed the New York Jets logo photo. And the last one is a 2-2 in 11 days from Zane Smith. He signed the 92 Fleer and the Montreal Expos logo photo. So other than that, like, comment, subscribe, and we will talk to everybody later. Thanks for watching.